trains up here for 124 years. And all those years have been keeping people safe by following 3 simple rules. Our first rule today is we ask you not to stick anything out of the windows, especially anything you want to take home with you. That includes cameras, hats, cell phones, selfie sticks, and children. We'll be passing by stationary objects that come very close to the train, and I wouldn't want you to lose any of those precious belongings. Also, there are no smoking signs posted throughout, so we do ask that you refrain from smoking while on board our train today. Feel free to light up when we get on top, however, while the rest of us are just trying to breathe. And now our third and most important rule is this brown aisle that goes straight through the train. It's called a conductor's aisle because only the conductor, which is myself, is allowed to stand in it. The reason for that is because this train has a very powerful braking system. In fact, you can stop in under 3 seconds if it needs to. Now, if you're caught standing in the middle of that aisle while the brakes come on, you might learn what it's like to fly. Of course, the flight's a fun part, folks, but the landing you must avoid. So I do ask that you remain seated today while the train's in motion, and you're especially not crossing over or standing in that brown aisle. Since I'm on the topic of a conductor's aisle, I'd like to make a quick introduction of the crew on board today. All the way up there in your engineer seat, you have Glenn. Everybody wave and say, "Hi, Glenn!" Glenn's been driving trains around here for over 5 years, so we're all in very safe hands today. For your conductors, myself, my name's Avery. I told you there used to be a hotel up here on the side of Pikes Peak. Well, there actually was. If you take a look out the 3-seat side, we're passing by this level spot of land. And this is where the Halfway House Hotel was located. This hotel boasted 15 guest rooms, a large banquet hall, a post office, and of all things, a 1-lane bowling alley. Unfortunately, there was a fire and this hotel was razed and removed in 1926. Now they're left are a couple scattered logs. I do have a great photograph of this hotel taken back in its heyday, and I'd be happy to show any of you if you're interested on the trip back down. I'll have it with me, so just let me know when we're headed down the mountain. Is Pikes Falls, and that's some water runoff from a hydro plant that we're about to see. So now, I know I showed you all the Ruxton Creek, and now I'd like to welcome you to Ruxton Park, Colorado. Population 0. Diane and Daryl used to live in this white house on the 3-seat side during the summer months. And they are the caretakers for the hydroelectric power plant that you'll see in the stone building a little bit farther back. This is the second oldest hydroelectric power plant west of the Mississippi, and it's still in use today. In fact, it makes enough electricity for over 200 homes. They have enough technology now that Diane and Daryl didn't need to live there anymore. seeing out the three-seat side is not the Pikes Peak Highway. It's actually the utility road that the workers use nowadays to get to that hydro plant. It actually lines about 61 miles behind the mountains, connecting the reservoirs, and it ends up in the town of Colorado Springs. Below us on the three-seat side, you'll see a lake, and that's Lake Moraine. It's the only naturally occurring lake up here on the side of Pikes Peak, placed there by a glacier. All the other bodies of water that we'll be seeing are man-made reservoirs, and altogether they make up 20% of Colorado Springs' drinking water. Wondering why this is called a cog railway, and I'd like to explain that to you right now. The outside rails on our track are called T-rails, and this is a standard gauge railway with 4 feet 8.5 inches between those T-rails, just like any other standard gauge. But the distinguishing feature that makes this a cog is the rail that runs through the center of the track. It's called a rack rail. Underneath this train, there are 2 sets of cog wheels which mesh with the rack rail. These cog wheels are powered by 2 855 cubic inch Cummins turbocharged diesel engines. All the driving force and all the braking force is done through the cog wheels to the rack rail. The outside track supports the weight of the train and guides it. That's the reason we're able to make it up such steep grades like this one. Right now we are on another 25% grade, and what that means is for every 100 feet in forward motion we go, we're gaining 25 feet in elevation. Every turn is beautiful. Yeah. Clouds are gorgeous. It is. It's so great. I think I prefer this. It's so weird and pretty. The other day, one of the section crew guys, they come up here at like 6:30 in the morning, and he was at the summit, and he showed me a picture. It was clouds like this, but right there at the top, so it looked like an ocean. Oh, and there were big white sheep also, just to top it off. It was like the best picture I've ever seen.
Take your seats, please, so we can get underway.
Of our train on the three-seat side, you'll see the last hairpin turn of the Pikes Peak Highway. The Pikes Peak Highway is 20 miles long with over 150 hairpin turns and not one guardrail to get in your way. It takes the average driver about 1 hour and 15 minutes to make the trip up the mountain if they're following the speed limit. Of course, every year there is a race. It's called the Pikes Peak Hill Climb. The record holder is a French race car driver by the name of Sebastian Loeb. And I know I've been joking around a lot today, but this is the truth. Sebastian Loeb drove up the mountain in 8 minutes and 13 seconds. He was clocked at a top speed of 145 miles per hour on the straightaways, and around hairpin turns like the one we're about to pass on the 3-seat side, over 80 miles per hour.